How's it going, people? Kinyo here. Um, Doing the left right podcast. Usually, or at least the goal is to have my friend Eric as a co-host, but he couldn't be here this week. And I thought I'd just record a short one, just because this is like kind of a political podcast. I mean, of course, it's called Left, Right, so it's definitely a political podcast. But at the same time, it is an entertainment podcast, not so much news as it were, but mostly just entertainment. I think journalism can be both, kind of. It can be entertainment. But anyway, I wouldn't even call this journalism. That would be a stretch. But then, of course, obviously, politics is also very dramatic, right? This week with the obvious, um, um, life-threatening stuff shows you how politics can also interact with, celebrity culture and life culture in different types of ways. Um, you know, um, and so it's kind of confusing. But that was also another kind of reason why I wanted to make this podcast too, to kind of separate what I consider politics from pop culture. Because I think there's a lot of, I'm not sure what's really going on with Americans right now. But I mean, who is? I don't think any person is sure. But I could just tell you definitely, I think politics has almost become kind of like a sport, kind of like football. And people are just using the teams, to talk about their morality, to express their emotions, which is great. But for me, I think politics has to be about the scientific data of every decision we're making. Um, because I think that's why it's political science. You know what I mean? Let's figure out what we're talking about and let's discuss it as much as possible in numbers. That way we can't get confused. I think when we use all kinds of other things, other metrics for meaning and value, that's where I think we start to get confused. And then you can move the goalpost wherever you want to have it, because you're talking about feelings, which there's nothing wrong with feelings. I get it. We all feel. Um, but it is a different conversation. And I think it's good to have somewhere at least where we can figure out what we're really talking about. And I think that's good. I think that's what entertainment is for. If focus is about zooming in, I think entertainment is about zooming out. And that's what I hoped and still hope to do with the Left, Right podcast. Because I mean, it's just crazy. Even if I don't check most news websites anymore, just because I feel like, I don't know, I feel like you're always going to see, I know usually what's on the news sites. Usually in the morning, I'll start with just the best news that I can find, and it's so hard to make even recommendations on that because it's worse than the stock market. It's worse than trying to trade crypto. You don't even know, you don't even know what you can find. So I'll get on YouTube, and listen to some stuff, and that's enough for the day because it's not like, except for with breaking news. It's not like there's that much crazy news going throughout the day. And then at the same time, though, throughout the day, just like the stock market or crypto, I don't think you should be paying attention to the news as though you're somehow involved in these things. Because I guarantee you, most of your tasks for the day are probably not involved with the news. Probably not. Um, Most likely not. Unless you work in Washington or you work around Washington. Um, I don't see how you could really need to look at the news all the time. Um, but just that little bit in the morning. I was gonna try to look at some news right now, but obviously, with this week's news, um, I guess we got to talk about it. I mean, this isn't um, it's not the easiest thing to talk about. Obviously, somebody died. Obviously, was killed. You definitely say that. Uh, this was it 2 days ago or something like that, and um, it's interesting. I think human beings are scareder than ever in some kinds of ways, and that fear turns into a lot of different things. I'll tell you one thing though: it's impossible, really, for us to really know what's going on in these types of situations. I mean, obviously, I can't even really fathom how a human being really gets to the point of taking somebody's life. I think even though it seems like the most dramatic act, I don't think human beings are even capable of calculating. That's where the true evil, to me, I mean, comes into the play of these types of things. Human beings, you're not even capable of calculating the value of a human being's life, much less tampering with it in any sort of way. Um, that's why, I think even car accidents are so serious because it's just like, if you're going to be responsible for maybe affecting somebody else's life, even if you just like nick their car or something like that, it's just the audacity to pay that little of attention when so much is on the line. But when you actually, um, put things into play in order to intentionally, you know what I mean, affect somebody's life, even if it's just punching somebody. If you just punch somebody, to me, come on, get this guy out of here. Not literally, um, but it it's that's how I think about myself, like what I would try to do. It's like if I'm getting to the place where I'm gonna hit somebody, I just need to leave because nothing could ever justify affecting somebody else's life. You don't have the math, but I've seen it in more ways than one. How callous human beings can become because of their feelings. This is why I hate feelings being applied to science. And that's even more why I want to do this podcast and why I'm getting even more and more excited to do it because it cannot be allowed to happen that the narrative of feelings becomes more important than science because if there's no science, if one doesn't need to account for the differences in values then yes, nothing will be sacred. Nothing will be protected. And that is where we're headed. And I don't think I can stop it. I know I can't stop it. I have no intention of even attempting to indulge in the grandiose delusions that the world is waiting for me to help stop it. But what I won't do is allow my space to become a conduit, either through passivity, self oppression, or even just being so confused that instead of taking an opportunity to provide a clear counterpoint, that I would lean into confusion. Because I'm not confused. That's one thing. If I was confused, perhaps I'd defer, but I'm not confused. Um, and it doesn't mean I know the answers. Honestly, I don't think I have the answers. I'm not going to sway the situation. Okay, never mind. Let's not do that. I don't think I have the answers, but I think I have a good enough resistance um, to foolishness. And what is my resistance? It's that I'm relaxed. Not because everything's going smoothly for me, um, or that I can see things that other people can't see. It's just a choice that I've made personally. That's what my faith in Jesus is really about. Um, I use it as a method of relaxation, and it's the greatest gift of it for me. And I only say that to say this: you have to figure out what relaxes you. You know what the problem is right now? You're not relaxed. You out there. And people, they take their lack of relaxation and they don't take ownership of it and they pass it on to somebody else. They say, hey, it's your job. I'm going to oppress you. I'm going to use you to physically relax the anxiety that I have going on inside of myself. That's what's going to happen. If you don't take the time to relax yourself, you will use others, even at the one drop of their life you don't deserve, but to constantly be taking from people all day, not being able to communicate, not being able to show up because of something that you read, something that has nothing to do with you, or that you can't affect, at least, that nobody's asking your opinion for. But that is going to be your determiner on whether or not you take or give from the people who are actually around you. I won't allow it to happen. And that's the point of the Left Right podcast. Let's zoom out enough. And this time we're zooming all the way out because it's getting really crazy. Rest in peace to Charlie Kirk, honestly. But we're going to zoom all the way out because if we zoom in right now, the zoom in is causing confusion. It's causing fear. It's perpetuating stupidity. So let's zoom out so that we can see what's really going on, which is that we are anxious on the inside and we're passing that along and we're killing ourselves. The earth is fine. It's always been fine. Humans have the issues. So anyway, just figured I'd come in to at least say that, and thank you guys for listening to the Left Right podcast. Should be up in your different podcast players soon. Definitely by the time you're watching this. So go ahead and make sure you subscribe on every platform you can subscribe on. Drop a like wherever you can like. Definitely catch it on the Go Live with Kinyo YouTube, and live definitely on Twitch. Try to go record live Saturday mornings. I'm not going to give you a set time yet because it's so new, but we got two in the bag. And I think that's good enough for now. So I'm going to go ahead and end it here. But you'll see me back before too long. And I look forward to seeing you. See you guys. Kinyo out.